Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and history lovers. Today, we have an exciting episode that dives deep into the mysterious and valuable world of the 1981 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. This small copper coin that you may have passed by hundreds of times might actually be worth a small fortune. In fact, one rare specimen has sold for an unbelievable $83,576. So buckle up, because we're about to uncover the incredible history, the reasons behind its value, and how you can check your own collection to see if you're holding a treasure. Let's go all the way back to 1981. Ronald Reagan had just taken office as President of the United States. MTV hadn't aired its first music video yet. IBM released its first personal computer. And in your pocket, jingling next to your keys, might have been a plain-looking Lincoln penny. But not just any penny. Some of these 1981 Lincoln cents were missing something crucial: a mint mark. Now, if you're new to coin collecting, you might be wondering what a mint mark even is. Simply put, it's a small letter printed on coins that tells you where it was made. Coins from Philadelphia typically had no mint mark until 1980. Starting that year, the mint began including the letter P on certain denominations, but not pennies. That's right. In 1981, pennies made in Philadelphia still didn't carry a mint mark. So, you may ask, why is a penny from that year without a mint mark considered special? Here's where things get interesting. While most of the 1981 Lincoln pennies without a mint mark are common and only worth their face value or slightly more in pristine condition, there's a rare version with a unique error. This error makes it one of the most sought-after coins by collectors today. It's not just about the mint mark. It's about the way the coin was struck. In 1981, the United States Mint was preparing for a major change in how it made coins. They were switching from the old style of engraving to a new hub design process. During this transition, some coins were struck using an earlier die known as the Type 1 reverse, while others used the newer Type 2 reverse. What makes the Type 2 version important is the sharper and clearer details in the lettering, especially the words United States of America and E pluribus unum on the reverse side of the coin. The Type 2 reverse has thinner and more defined letters compared to the thicker and more rounded letters of the Type 1 reverse. Collectors believe that a limited number of 1981 Lincoln pennies without a mint mark were accidentally struck using a rare combination of dies. This mishap, along with a pristine condition and perfect strike, resulted in a few ultra-rare examples that are now worth thousands. One particular 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, graded at the highest level by a professional coin grading service, reached an astronomical value of $83,576 at auction. That's more than the average yearly salary in many parts of the country. And it all came from a single penny. So, what should you look for if you want to find one of these hidden gems? First, examine the coin's reverse. Look at the lettering closely. Does it appear crisp and finely detailed, especially on the words United States of America? If so, you might have the rarer Type 2 reverse. Next, look at the condition. Even a rare coin drops significantly in value if it's worn or damaged. Coins that sell for tens of thousands are usually in mint state condition, meaning they look like they just came out of the machine. Be sure of what you have. You'll want to get your coin graded. Companies like PCGS and NGC are trusted names in the coin community. They'll evaluate your penny, assign it a grade, and seal it in a protective case. This is especially important if you think your coin could be worth thousands. A professional grade can make all the difference when selling to serious collectors or at auction. Now let's talk about the current market. With interest in error coins and rare pennies rising, the value of these elusive 1981 no-mint mark cents continues to grow. Collectors are constantly hunting for the next rare find, and prices reflect that demand. A coin that might have sold for a few $100s years ago could now fetch thousands. The exact value depends on the coin's condition, rarity, and demand at the time of sale. But one thing is for sure. If you find the right combination, it could be a life-changing discovery. Just imagine this. You go through a jar of old coins that's been sitting in your closet for years. You notice a 1981 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. You flip it over and something about the lettering catches your eye. You send it in for grading. And a few months later, it sells for tens of thousands of dollars. All because you took a closer look at something most people overlooked. So the next time you see a penny lying on the ground or tucked away in your change jar, think twice before ignoring it. That tiny coin could be your golden ticket. And who knows? Maybe your story will be the next one we share on this channel. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable pennies, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a coin worth a fortune. Drop a comment if you found anything interesting in your coin collection or if you have a question about another rare coin. We'll see you in the next video. And remember, always check your change. Welcome back to the channel where we explore hidden treasures in plain sight. Today, we're diving into a seemingly ordinary coin that's taken the numismatic world by storm. We're talking about the 1983 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. You might have one sitting in a drawer right now, unaware that it could be worth a life-changing amount of money. So stick around, because this small copper-colored coin might just be your golden ticket. Now, let's rewind the clock to 1983. That year was a turning point in United States coinage. The U.S. Mint had made a major change just a year prior in 1982. Before that time, pennies were made primarily from copper. But due to rising copper prices, the Mint decided to switch to a more affordable material. Starting mid-1982, pennies were minted using a core of zinc, coated with a thin layer of copper. This change was meant to save money for the Mint, but it also created a lot of confusion for collectors. Why? Because during this transitional period, both copper and zinc cents were struck. And in 1983, all pennies were supposed to be made only with the new zinc core, but here's where things get really interesting. In 1983, a small number of Lincoln cents were mysteriously struck on leftover copper planchets from previous years. And even more surprisingly, some of those rare error coins came from the Denver Mint. The 1983 Lincoln cent you're holding may not look any different to the naked eye, but if it was struck on a copper planchet, it's a massive rarity. Most 1983 pennies weigh 2.5 grams because they're made of zinc. But the rare ones, the valuable ones, weigh about 3.1 grams, which is the standard weight of the older copper pennies. So why is the 1983 penny such a big deal? Because error coins like this were never meant to exist. The U.S. Mint was already fully transitioned to zinc. These copper planchet coins should have been melted down or caught during production. But a handful slipped through the cracks, and into circulation they went. Fast forward to today, and collectors are scouring their change, hoping to find one of these unicorns of U.S. currency. And what about the value? Well, this is where things get jaw-dropping. One of these extremely rare 1983 Lincoln cents struck on a copper planchet was recently verified by experts and sold for an astonishing $94,501. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $100,000 for a penny. That sale shocked collectors and non-collectors alike. Suddenly, people began checking their jars, drawers, and coin rolls, hoping to discover a tiny piece of metal that could pay off debt, buy a car, or even put a down payment on a house. Now, you're probably wondering how you can tell if your 1983 penny is the jackpot coin. The first thing you'll want to do is weigh it. You'll need a precise scale that can measure in grams. A zinc penny from 1983 should weigh around 2.5 grams. But if yours weighs closer to 3.1 grams, you could be holding a copper planchet error coin. And that's where the journey begins. If you suspect your coin is the real deal, the next step is to send it to a professional grading service, like PCGS or NGC. They'll examine the metal content, confirm the error, and assign a grade that reflects the coin's condition. Condition is another critical factor in determining a coin's value. Even rare coins can vary in price depending on how well they've been preserved. A coin in circulated condition might fetch a few $1,000s. But a coin in mint or uncirculated condition That's where we get into the five-figure territory, like the $94,501 sale. Let's also talk about how the market affects the value. The coin market operates on supply and demand, just like anything else. With the spotlight now shining brightly on these rare error coins, demand is surging. More collectors are entering the scene every day, hunting for these rare pieces. But the supply? That's limited. There are only a few known examples of the 1983 copper planchet penny in existence. That imbalance, high demand and low supply, is what drives up the price. And as long as people are excited about these coins, we may see values climb even higher in the future. So the big question is, should you check your pennies? The answer is a resounding yes. Every jar of spare change, every coin roll, every old piggy bank could be hiding one of these valuable treasures. It takes just a minute to weigh a coin, but that minute could change your financial future. There's something magical about finding value in everyday things. And that's the beauty of coin collecting. It's not just about history, metal, or mint marks. It's about the thrill of discovery. Before we wrap this up, remember that knowledge is power. Learn what to look for, educate yourself about mint errors, and stay curious. The 1983 Lincoln penny may look like any other coin, but in the world of rare errors, it's a superstar. One that's proven its worth not just a cent, but a small fortune. Who knows, the next record-breaking coin could be sitting in your pocket right now. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into coin history and high-value rarities, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss future videos. Keep hunting, stay sharp, and until next time, happy collecting! Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're into coin collecting, rare finds, or simply love learning about how everyday objects can turn into valuable treasures, then you're in for a treat today. Make sure you stay until the end of the video because you won't believe what makes this 1-cent coin worth over $69,000 in today's market. Now let's dive straight into it. We're talking about the 2001 Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. At first glance, it looks just like any other ordinary penny you'd find lying around in your pocket, at the bottom of a drawer, or wedged between couch cushions. But this specific 2001 penny with no mint mark has an incredible story behind it and might just be hiding in your spare change. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909. It was first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features Lincoln's portrait on the obverse side and originally had wheat ears on the reverse, which later changed to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959 and eventually the Union Shield in 2010. The coin has seen decades of changes and variations, but the 2001 penny holds a special place due to a rare mint error that has made it one of the most sought-after modern coins. Now, the 2001 Lincoln penny was struck during a time when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins annually. The Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally does not use a mint mark, produced a large quantity of these pennies. So at first glance, a 2001 penny with no mint mark doesn't seem rare at all. In fact, most of the pennies you find from 2001 will not have a mint mark and are worth face value. So what makes this particular one so valuable? Here's where it gets interesting. Some 2001 pennies were struck with errors during the minting process, making them extremely rare and valuable to collectors. One of the most valuable known examples includes a combination of striking errors like off-center strikes, double dies, and in some very rare cases, planchet errors. In coin collecting, these kinds of anomalies significantly increase a coin's value because of their rarity and uniqueness. One of the most famous 2001 no mint mark Lincoln cents was discovered with a double die obverse. This means that during the minting process, the coin's die struck the coin more than once, but not quite in the same position. This results in a doubling effect on key areas of the coin, especially visible on the lettering and date. These types of errors are highly desirable among collectors because they are very difficult to come across. Another factor that plays a huge role in the coin's value is its condition. The coin that sold for $69,602 was in pristine condition. It was graded as mint state by a professional grading service. In coin collecting, the grading scale ranges from poor to mint state, with mint state coins being in near perfect condition with full original luster and no signs of wear. A coin in MS 67 or higher can fetch astronomical prices, especially when it also features a rare minting error. Imagine this for a moment. Someone found a penny in their change, just like any other, but because it had an error and was perfectly preserved, it ended up being worth nearly $70,000. That's why it's always a good idea to check your change carefully. That little coin you're about to toss away could be your ticket to a small fortune. Now let's talk about the current market. As of this year, 2025, the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny with the known rare mint error and in a high mint state condition continues to attract serious attention from collectors and auction houses. The most recent verified sale reached $69,602 at a reputable coin auction. This set a new record for a 2001 penny and has sparked renewed interest in searching for similar coins. Online marketplaces and auctions have seen a spike in listings for 2001 pennies, with collectors and hopefuls alike sifting through their collections in search of the next big discovery. Coin experts suggest that while it is extremely rare, more of these valuable 2001 pennies may still be out there, sitting unnoticed in jars, drawers, or coin collections. What should you look for if you want to try your luck? First, check the date. Make sure it's a 2001 penny. Then look at the mint mark, or rather, the lack of one, indicating it was made in Philadelphia. Then examine the coin carefully for any signs of doubling on the lettering, date, or Lincoln's features. Use a magnifying glass if you need to. Also check for signs of off-center strikes or any unusual features in the coin's shape or surface. If you find anything out of the ordinary, it might be worth having the coin appraised or graded by a professional. And remember, even if your coin doesn't turn out to be worth tens of thousands of dollars, coin collecting can be a fun and rewarding hobby. Every coin has a story, and sometimes those stories are worth far more than you'd expect. To wrap up, the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny may seem like a common coin, but under the right conditions and with the right error, it can be worth a small fortune. With one selling for over $69,000, it proves that even the most overlooked everyday items can carry immense hidden value. So take a closer look at your pocket change, check those old coin jars, and who knows, you might just strike gold with a single penny. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and valuable finds, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Share this with your friends and family. They might have a fortune hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting!